Hi there, I'm Janko from TOEFL. In today's tip number 3, we will talk about skimming. So what is skimming then? Skim reading or skimming is a reading technique that can help the reader to come to a faster understanding of the main idea of a passage of text. In other words, to understand what a passage is about without having to read every single word. The first skim reading method is to pick out certain words, but to ignore the large chunks of words and the whole sentences. This means just looking at which words are in a paragraph or text, and not reading the entire sentences. In order to quickly decipher the main point that the author is trying to convey, cast your gaze a few times back and forth through the middle of the text, looking at the specific nouns and verbs, ones that kind of stand out amongst the rest of the text. Also, you may want to pay attention to the certain signal words, such as conjunctions, that may indicate a certain type of relationship between ideas in the passage. For example, because, which indicates a straightforward cause and effect, as well, which indicates that you are adding more ideas or details that are similar in nature. However, and despite, indicate a contrast to a previously made statement. By simply linking the meanings of certain keywords in the sentence, nouns and verbs in the middle of the paragraph, and already mentioned discourse markers, however and despite for contrast, moreover and furthermore for adding, therefore as a result for conclusion, and for instance, for example, and not reading the entire text, we can train our cognition or mental processing to evaluate the main subject with a quite limited understanding of the text as a whole. The main difference between this technique and scanning is that while scanning we are carrying a specific word or phrase and its synonyms in our brain, and we are searching through the middle of the text looking for this specific detail. When skimming, on the other hand, we do not have in mind any specific term that we are looking for, rather a few key words that will provide a broader sense of what is going on in a particular paragraph or in the passage as a whole. When skimming, simply put, we are after a general idea, whereas scanning is a type of hunting for specific, precise, detailed information from the passage. It takes some time to be able to master the technique of skimming, but with enough practice it can become a second nature to you, and such a technique will pay enormous dividends to the one who masters it. The other skimming technique is to read only the first and the last sentences. The first sentence of each body paragraph is called a topic sentence. In this sentence, the author introduces the subtopic, an aspect, concept, or idea that she wants to discuss. For that reason, as soon as we read the first sentence, we should be asking ourselves, what is the author writing about? In other words, how might this newly introduced theory, concept, or idea influence the main topic? Or rather, what does it say about the main topic? Similarly, as soon as we read the last sentence, we should be asking ourselves, why is the author writing about this? What was the exact relationship that the author was aiming to establish between the main idea and this newly added theory or concept from our body paragraph's topic sentence? This technique will help us evaluate entire TOEFL passages of 700+ words fairly quickly. Skimming is an essential technique in the summary question that are worth 2 points. My tip for today would be to practice this technique by jotting down the answers to the questions what and what about on the sheet of paper during the initial stages of your practice. Later, with enough practice, you will be able to do this task in your head while skimming through the entire passage. When you have made these short summaries of each body paragraph in the passage, go back to the 6 answer choices in the summary question and pick the 3 that most closely resemble the summary that you already have in your mind. If you would like to practice skimming technique in test-like conditions, using many examples with one of our specially trained tutors, click on the link in the description below or simply visit us at TOEFL.com. See you next time!